So let's start with refuge. You make these beings numberless, limitless. Your universe expands so that every being can fit in, find a place. So you can imagine your friends and your enemies, your acquaintances. You can imagine beings in also specific countries, specific situations. There's no need to do that, but you can do it. But in essence, all these beings are suffering, they are happy, and there's a change of happiness and suffering. All these beings have sorrows and worries and fears in many, many ways, shortcomings. And this is the essence of your motivation and your meditation and your visualization. No one is excluded. You create these beings as if they are alive in your mind. And so you create refuge in the Buddhas, the pure beings. You create and take refuge in the Dharma, the behavior that all beings are liberated from suffering. And you take refuge in the Sangha, which are the expressions of limitless love, limitless compassion, limitless joy, and limitless equanimity. So this is a brand new universe. This is created by you, by your mind, by your inner Buddha and Dharma and Sangha. It's your creation. Oh, thank you. So last week we had some practical expressions of taking refuge, like for instance having a Buddha statue on your room, or have a small shrine or a big shrine, also good. That the Buddha statue is a little bit higher than you yourself when you're sitting, out of respect and devotion. And traditionally, on the shrine, there are offerings, and like water and flowers and lights and incense and a music instrument and some food. So what we can do is every morning we bring these offerings, and we make 3 prostrations. And these 3 prostrations, I take refuge in the Buddha. Second is I take refuge in the Dharma. And second prostration is I take refuge in the Sangha. Third, thank you. So, and we can combine these 3 prostration with a mantra. We will talk next week on mantras. For instance, we can recite Vajrasattva mantra during the prostrations, which has a strong purifying impact. Or we can have recite a mantra of compassion. Of course, that's all up to you. But that is very beautiful, to bring offerings to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and make prostrations and purifications. And this is refreshing the vows of refuge every day, or reviving is better. It's reviving our vows every day of striving for inner Buddhahood, striving for the Dharma, the behavior, and striving to develop the qualities of the Sangha. So for these offerings, they have a special meaning. The flowers, they signify good qualities. The incense signifies moral conduct, means not harming, not damaging others. The lights, the wisdom, the lamps or the light or the candle is the light of wisdom. And the scented water is faith, trust and faith. And if there is some nectar as well, then it is the meditative trance, meditative absorption that I try to abide in during the day. And the music can be cymbals or a conch shell, or a photograph of an instrument, or we can use our imagination. So these symbols is the music of praise to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So these are the meanings of the more deeper meanings of the offerings. And the common meaning is offering water. When we invite the Buddha in our daily life, we offer water for washing and for drinking, as we invite a guest with something to drink and to refresh from the long journey. And of course, we can put on the altar all kinds of flowers, fresh flowers or plastic flowers. Depends on the country you live in. Where we live in between millions and millions of flower bulbs, tulip bulbs, the growers of tulip fields. And they grow millions and millions of flowers, tulips, hyacinths. These are blossoming now, these weeks. There's a tremendous beauty, although it is a commercial production, but that doesn't matter. So every time when I see them or remember them or pass them by, I offer them to the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha. Or I buy some from the grower and put them on the shrine. So these are practical examples. You can, of course, do it in your own way. It depends. Most important is the intention. Huh? And some food is also, in the common way, a way to welcome the honorable guests like the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. You offer some food. This can be everything that is available or at hand. And then it is okay to eat the food at the end of the day, because otherwise maybe it's not so fresh anymore, and the next day we can offer new fresh food. It can even be chocolate or something like that. It's all up to you. It all, of course, the motivation, intention, how we receive Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and how we start our day. So this is a wonderful day to start, to take refuge. And at the end of the day, we clean the bowls where the water has been in, and so on, and we dedicate the merit, and we confess what did not succeed today. So that's a very nice way of ending the day and going to sleep. So this is a common way of, and an uncommon way of taking refuge, and by way of offerings. So, okay, this is also regarding taking refuge in the details of the day. This was one of your questions. Right? So now we continue with an other question that came in. So last week we talked about, yes, there are no Buddhas, no Bodhisattvas outside of us. They are all creations of our mind. Because according to the wisdom philosophy of the Mahayana Buddhism, the Madhyamika, he said nothing exists ultimately, everything exists relatively. We've been talking about that last week, through the emptiness and so on. So if we take refuge in Buddha, in the Dharma, which is behavior, and in the Sangha, which are bodhisattvas, what or where or how do we take refuge in something that does not exist? How can we take refuge and have faith in something or someone that does not exist? And for that, like this meditation in the beginning, teachers always explain that we have a mind. All beings, all sentient beings have a consciousness and have a mind. And the consciousness is impure because it is dominated by the sensual impressions of the day, by ignorance, by disturbing emotions, and so on. And negative feelings in a constant change with positive feelings. So consciousness is not something that we can trust and have faith in, because it is related to our daily strivings and wars and conflicts and happiness. That is the function of the consciousness. But there is also in Buddhism a mind. And in Buddhist philosophy, the mind, I guess all of you know, is there's a pure mind, and pure means it is free from attachment, it is free from aversion, it is free from ignorance. It is the liberated, primordial, pure state of mind, which was always there, and which is unsullied. And it has a tremendous potential of love, compassion, wisdom. These are the potentials and the qualities of our pure nature. So this is what is called the Buddha. It is the inner Buddha nature. It's a great topic, Buddha nature. So I can only give some impressions of it. So this we take refuge in the pure mind, in ourselves, present always, all the time, with pure qualities. And the Sangha means, it is our behavior. Sangha means to hold. Sangha means it holds me in the behavior and the qualities of the inner Buddha. The Dharma, Dharma. The Dharma. And the Sangha, I guess maybe some of you know the bodhisattvas like Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara. That is the activity, enlightened activity of the Buddha nature, and then compassion. And Manjushri is the bodhisattva of wisdom. It is the expression of the wisdom of the Buddha nature inside. And Maitreya is the expression of the quality of the Buddha nature inside of loving kindness. Padmasambhava is the expression of the quality of power of the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is unhindered, so it is a tremendous power that is arising. So the bodhisattva, if we speak of bodhisattvas in the secret, in the tantric, or in the secret meaning, then the bodhisattvas are the qualities that are manifesting themselves from the Buddha nature. So the Buddha nature is the essence, it has the potential. The bodhisattvas is the arising and the manifestation and the enhancing of these qualities. So these are all arising from ourselves, our pure state of mind. And it is the consciousness that is causing confusion, because the consciousness does not understand the Buddha nature. The consciousness is not aware, in our daily life, is not aware of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And that, of course, is the problem. So then another question was, what is equanimity? Equanimity means, like the Buddha nature, it is completely free of rejection, aversion, anger, irritation, denying, jealousy, discrimination, loneliness, and so on. Everything that we don't want to experience, we want to reject, we want to suppress, we want to ignore, we want to put aside. That is rejection, aversion. Equanimity, the Buddha state, is free from rejection. And on the other hand, equanimity means there's also freedom or absence of attachment. So attachment means not wanting to let go of someone or something. That's also attachment. But attachment in a deeper meaning means I don't want that my happiness will disappear. I don't want that the loved ones will die or that I will have to separate from them. I don't want that we will separate. I don't want to separate from everything that makes me happy in this life. My possessions, my body, my position in society, my bank account, my holidays, and so on. Right? So that is the more deeper meaning of attachment. I don't want that my happiness, in what way whatsoever, will change or disappear. And rejection, aversion is, I don't want I want my suffering to disappear. This is equanimity. They are both desire, but one is desire must be forever, and the desire for happiness or the experience of happiness. This must last forever. So this is desire for happiness. And I want suffering, whatever that is, to disappear as soon as possible, every moment of the day. So this is also the problem in our daily life. We are continuously busy with attachment and aversion. But equanimity means there is the wisdom that understands the emptiness of happiness and the emptiness of suffering. We've been talking about that last week. We know that it is not really existing. So this is the quality of the Buddha nature, equanimity. It has the wisdom to understand the grasping and the rejection, and therefore the ultimate state of inside of me somewhere is that there is only equanimity. And this equanimity, as mentioned also last week, is that is arising from wisdom, understanding reality. Where was it? So the wisdom causes equanimity in our feelings and in our mental formations. And the result is mahamudra, which is the all-encompassing emptiness, the mahamudra, the great seal. And from this all-encompassing emptiness arises mahakaruna. And mahakaruna is the all-encompassing love and compassion. It is in the summary. But this is the feeling of equanimity. It arises from wisdom. It is abiding in the mahamudra, the all-encompassing emptiness. And it is the arising of mahakaruna, the all-encompassing love and compassion, because it is free from attachment and aversion. Right? And these qualities, as just mentioned, are the qualities of the Buddha nature inside of us. And we take refuge in the trust and the faith in these qualities because they are inside of us. So now we come to the problems. As examples. This is sometimes I find it very difficult to practice compassion. And when I have practiced compassion, then sometimes I regret that I was compassionate to this person because actually I didn't want it, or I didn't need it, or I didn't like this person. So this is a kind of regretting compassion. And in fact, this is impossible. Real compassion, as explained before, real compassion is free from any expectation, is free from any condition, is free from every prejudice, is free from sympathy or antipathy. So real compassion is unconditioned, so we can never have regret from compassion. If there is regret from compassion, then it wasn't compassion from the beginning. It was just kindness, or it was fear that this person could get angry with me, or this person could be disappointed in me if I do not something good or something nice. So we adjust to the expectations of someone else, or we adjust to some defenses or some fear into ourselves. But this can never be a motivation for compassion. This is fear. We adjust to someone else out of fear. And there's no relation to compassion whatsoever. And sometimes we are very compassionate to someone who is in pain or in suffering or in sadness or in trouble. And then we do our utmost to help this person, even if I have trouble in helping this person. And when I have trouble in helping a person, then compassion is not possible. Helping someone is without any resistance into myself, towards someone else. So also here, when I try to help someone, but I find it difficult, or this person is not as kind, or I'm not in the mood for helping, then compassion is not possible. So this is also more motivated by fear. And in those situations, it is better not to speak of compassion towards someone else. Maybe at least it could be some kindness towards this person, or feel obligations towards this person, or feel responsible towards this person. And therefore I try to help. But actually I'm not able to bring forth compassion in those conditions where there is no real sympathy, no real compassion towards this person. If this is not really inside of me, if this motivation of compassion is not arising, but is hindered by all kinds of limitations towards myself, then I have to let, then there are two things I can do. One thing is that it is better to first start with compassion towards oneself. Just like I've mentioned in this example, if I like to be kind to someone, but I find it difficult because of all kinds of inner hindrances, then I can take refuge in compassion to the compassionate Buddha inside of me that says, yes, this is my limitation, this is my impossibility, this is my struggle in myself and towards this person. So then it is better to take care of oneself, to find some inner strength, to find some confession, to find some honesty towards oneself, and find some inner strength to develop myself into more harmony towards myself. This is my pain, this is my shortcoming. So maybe it is better to first to help myself. And this is what I can tell the other person who is in pain also. So I'm very willing to help you, but it is impossible for me. I am in trouble myself. So please, can you accept this? Does this sound, this is maybe not very nice towards this person, but we are human beings, we have our limitations, we have our shortcomings, we have our neuroses, we have our problems in our lives, we have our inner ignorance, we have our inner negative emotions that we carry with us. So taking refuge in the Buddha means that to ask the inner Buddha to forgive oneself because of my limitations. And your inner Buddha will understand, because the inner Buddha is full of equanimity and compassion. And he will say, of course, I understand that you're limited, that you're in samsara, and so on. So compassion does not mean that cost what it cost, that I want to solve the problems of others. Not yet. We cannot solve the problems of others. And it is difficult enough to keep on standing and straight in our own life. So this is one possibility. And the other possibility, which is the same as with the problem of anger, is that we practice wisdom. So wisdom means, yes, I have my shortcomings, like just explained, but I know from the wisdom point of view that they do not really exist. They are relatively in my mind. The negative thoughts, they arise and they disappear. The problems in my mind, in my feelings, in my thinking, in my behavior, they arise and they disappear because of karma, because of dependent origination, because of the circumstances that I am in. And I know that they do not really exist, but they are coming and going. So then the wisdom is bringing us towards the qualities of the Buddha nature. So it is try to abide in the emptiness of disturbing feelings, try to understand the emptiness of the suffering in myself, try to understand the suffering in other beings as emptiness. And this is the direct path to the Buddha nature, the direct refuge. And it is the direct refuge in the Dharma because of my behavior. And it is the direct refuge to the qualities of love and compassion and wisdom. So to understand and to reflect and to recognize emptiness of suffering, because the suffering is not really existing, it is relatively existing. It comes and goes depending on what happens in my daily life. It is karma, cause and effect, dependent origination. So my suffering is not really existing. And this is the second part, the second path we can travel. And it is the path of liberation and taking refuge in the ultimate state of the Buddha. And so this is also the problem in Buddhism, or being a Buddhist, or the problem of us human beings. There is, on one hand, there is pain and suffering, as explained, and what we mostly practice in our daily life is that we reinforce our suffering. So in a question of being how to diminish anger, we choose strategies that reinforce our suffering, that reinforce our negative karma. I am angry, so I get angry, so I start shouting, so I start blaming, so I start crying, I start defending the other one is starting to start offending the other one is starting to offending me, so war is arising, and this war is created by myself, and this creating war again and again is establishing the suffering again and again. So there's no solution, there's no liberation, there's no refuge. This is our common behavior when we suffer, whatever it is. So in the question, where do I take, or what do I take refuge in? I cannot take refuge in my suffering. I cannot take refuge in my disturbing thoughts and feelings. I cannot take refuge in my disappointments. I cannot take refuge in having expectation from someone else. This is all hopeless. So this is the difficult of being a human being with our I would say our behavior, our habits in behaving that we establish again and again and reinforce again and again. This is the problem, and the problem is how to get out of it. This is the difficulty of the Buddhist practice. It says, no, there is this Buddha nature, as explained. There is the Dharma of wholesome behavior. There is the qualities of the Bodhisattvas inside. And this is the path I have to go. I have to create compassion or kindness as soon as war inside of me is arising. I have to try to develop kindness towards someone else who is insulting me. I have to try to develop patience in someone who is making me angry. I have to try benevolence, giving without expectations or without who is in front of me. This is the path of that Buddha advises, and this is our greatest problem in the Buddhist practice. And this is our greatest problem in our daily life. And this is the only, but it is also the only way to liberate ourselves. And by creating insight in the true and relative nature and quality of our life, the wisdom of emptiness. It is the peaceful and equanimity in our mind, which is always there, and it is potential, and it is the enhancing, the empowering, the letting grow of the qualities that are inside the Buddha nature. And mainly these are wisdom, as said, is love and compassion. Compassion is kindness. It is benevolence. It is morality, not hurting someone else. You know, the six paramis. And for that, it is all the wisdom part, the understanding. And of course, there's also the meditation part. The meditation part means it is in the emotional experience. Meditation is an emotional experience of the qualities of the Buddha nature. And meditation is the path to experience the true qualities of love, compassion, wisdom, equanimity, and so on. This is the beauty and the power of meditation. The emotional realization next to the intellectual understanding by wisdom. These two should be our refuge in our daily life as soon as there is any problem arising. And this is the difficult part, but as said in earlier courses, Buddhists, or this way of living my life, we are warriors, we are fighters. We have to destroy the causes of suffering in ourselves, to destroy them, and we have to create the qualities inside of ourselves that create compassion and love on a true felt inner motivation. And what is standing in between is not only ignorance, but is the ego and the I and the me. And we have last week practiced some meditation on emptiness. Where is the I? Where is the me? Where is the ego? Maybe you remember. And the ego is just feeling, the ego is just thinking, the ego is just consciousness. And we think that these feelings are me. And I think, and we feel that what I think, that is me. And what I experience in my consciousness, that is me. But it is not me. It is consciousness of emotions and consciousness of thoughts. But we will never find an ego, an I, somewhere, as we have practiced last week. So we have to destroy the power of the non-existing ego. And that is why compassion is so helpful. If I don't like someone and this person is in trouble, or I'm tired and I'm not in the mood of helping someone, then if I want to destroy the ego and want to try to practice really compassion, then I have to be aware of the non-existing of feelings and thoughts into myself, the non-existing of the ego. I have to be aware of and take refuge in and to remember the Buddha qualities, the qualities of the Buddha nature inside. We have to be aware and remember the potential inside of me, of love, compassion, and these will destroy the ego on the spot. So in other words, compassion and wisdom, they help us on the spot to practice compassion, or no, that compassion and wisdom destroy the ego. And in this question, it is the other way around. The ego is destroying the compassion. The ego is destroying the kindness. But it should be the other way around. Understanding and practice compassion is destroying the ego. Understanding and wisdom, which is refuge in the Buddha and in the Sangha and the Dharma, is our behavior that destroys the ego and the I and the selfless. Does this make sense to you? This is the problem in of our life. What do we choose? Who do I want to be? What is real? What is unreal? What is my struggle? In what way am I struggling? To what am I taking refuge? So it's difficult. It's difficult. That's what all Buddhas say and all teachers say. But for that, we need study, we need meditation, we need consciousness of it. We have to be aware of it. We have to reflect. We have to be on guard. We have to fight. We have to meditate. We have to train again and again and again. And this way we can develop our faith and trust in the refuge. So it goes step by step. And the strange thing is that we are used to do it. We do it all day. We do step by step. When I'm planning a holiday in a faraway country with many complications like how to travel and money and visa and so on, and what is the kind of country, then I go on internet and I go to the embassy and I ask questions to many other people. How is it there, the country? How do we get there? So we reflect, we take energy, we investigate, we contemplate on this holiday. But we don't do it as soon as I get angry. We don't do the same strategy. So we take a lot of energy in investigating the perfect holiday, but we do not invest in the perfect strategy to get rid of hindrances for compassion or other disturbing emotions. We take them for granted. It is the same as meeting someone. Hey, this is a kind person. Well, maybe we should meet again. Why do I think this is a kind person? For some reasons. Oh, then I don't know, can I trust him or her? Maybe he or she is different. Okay. Do not hurry. Maybe next week. Then we talk again, drink some coffee. And then, okay, it's nice. And then later on, so slowly we build up trust or we build up mistrust and then we separate. But we are careful in building up relationships. We do it step by step. So why shouldn't we do it the same with the fears and the anxieties and the unhappiness in our daily life that arises in ourselves? So slowly we have to build up trust and faith for the inner refuge. Okay. So, and then slowly we will feel that some bliss is arising, that some joy is arising. We feel that equanimity is arising. Oh, I used to consider you as an enemy, but you're still my enemy, but I love you. I respect you. I'm willing to help you. And this is the bliss of the refuge. Slowly it arises, this faith and this happiness and equanimity and compassion conform the Buddha quality. So this is a very nice, meaningful way of living. So there's nothing to lose because nothing exists, and there's only to gain. So the other question is related to it on anger. Are there any techniques for stopping anger in the moment and how to avoid reacting in an angry way? And this is in essence the same strategy as I've explained with compassion. It's all for every disturbing emotion, we can have the same strategy. But there's for anger, there's another problem coming into the game, is that anger arises very strongly in ourselves. It is very strong. It arises, and we have almost no answer to it. That is why being angry is so dangerous. We cannot resist it because it is a stronger force. And the consequences of being angry is that we damage ourselves, that we damage others before we know it, before we have before we are in control again. And it takes a long time to restore the consequences of being angry. And we are not in control of this negative emotion and negative thinking because of angry. And sometimes it is said that when we are angry, we are trying to kill the one that I love. Anger is trying to kill someone else. Maybe not literally, sometimes literally, but through words. Even if I love someone, being angry is destroying the other. I have to win, you have to lose. So anger. So this enemy of being angry is, we can fight like just explained, but we have to train with a strong force to be aware of the anger arising, to be aware of the consequences, and to try to take immediately a refuge in the equanimity, in the inner peace of mind, in the compassion, which are the bodhisattvas, in the patience, in the wisdom of Manjushri. So here, immediately when anger arises or irritation or whatever, we have to train with the greatest force in being aware of it, not wanting the consequences, and try to practice the antidotes as just explained. And to avoid the negative karmic consequences, and to replace them by listening to the person, be silent, try to understand, not wanting to damage myself and others, understanding or feeling that the other person is also in pain, so that both of us, we need protection. So we have to remember our better one. So this is difficult, but it's also training on the mind. And we have this inner sangha of wisdom and compassion and power and kindness. And I want to be, this is who I want to be. And I want to be a wise and autonomous and peaceful person out of compassion, with patience and benevolence and morality and silence and forgiving. And I want, on the ultimate level, to be selfish less. So here we are taking refuge in, try to take refuge in, to transform anger into a very beautiful person, into very beautiful qualities that are inside of me. This is the great transformation and the great destruction of anger. I don't want to be this nasty person out of control, but I want to be I am a beautiful person deep down. I'm a kind and loving person deep down. And this is what I want to express and to let grow and to enhance in difficult situations. And once this has succeeded, maybe a few seconds in an angry mood, if it succeeds for a few seconds, then it is tremendous bliss and joy that is arising. This is great happiness. Yes, I made it. Huh? I did it. And then 10 seconds later, the irritation comes again. But okay, I have victory for a few seconds. And then it grows and grows. And then we develop faith and power and equanimity and kindness. And then we will have a wonderful, there's nothing more beautiful than to conquer the anger and to have the victory of it, and to feel and to end up in peace together. Shaking hands, forgiving, sorry, saying sorry. Shall we meet again? Shall we try next time to do better? Sorry, I didn't listen to you. Maybe I try next time. And so on. This is all taking refuge in the qualities of the bodhisattvas inside. Already there, but we have to manifest them. Okay. There was one question: is Tonglen the same as compassion or loving kindness? It is the same source. Loving kindness is expressed by Tonglen. Tonglen is method, and loving kindness is the bodhisattva inside of me, if it is Maitreya. Or if you don't know these bodhisattvas, it is the inner quality of loving kindness. And Tonglen is the practice. So let's be kind to ourselves. Yes, I'm not perfect. Perfect. Yes, I have my shortcomings. I confess. I will not damage others with it. I will try myself to alleviate them, and I will try to create the best of myself, which is already there. This is the attitude that will make us very happy. Coming out. Coming out, yeah. Bodhisattvas coming out, yeah. Okay. So if you're fine with it, then we can have some meditation. And we can have 10 minutes extra because we started 10 minutes later. Is that okay? So I will let's do 2 meditations after each other in a continuation. So please, if you sit comfortably. Maybe if you feel some tension in your body, try to relax. Follow the breathing. Maybe you feel your mind as spaceless. So your mind is full of loving and wise energy. Feeling your mind as limitless and transparency. Understand it, feeling your mind as being free of any form. No loved ones, no I, no me, no agendas, and so on and so on. So the empty and clarity of the mind in its natural state, in your relaxed body, and the autonomous breathing. Maybe you can abide in it. All the emotions and thinking you can let go. They arise from the mind and disappear. So this is the calm abiding in wisdom of understanding, and is the bliss of meditation, abiding in it. It's the calmness and peace of equanimity, no disturbance whatsoever, freedom. Now in this state, maybe you can reflect on that in front of you, that you, in your mind or reality, are all your possessions, the material things that you own. Some are very valuable to you, others less, just practical possessions, but still all your possessions. So this is an expression in the text of the desire for possessions. I want them, I need them. And on the left, you are aware, or you think of your loved ones. Just think of them or visualize them. That's enough. Each and every one of them. And this is an expression of, or the meditation on attachment. They must not change, they must live forever. We must stick together. We should not separate. Everything must be fine and happy and remain like that. So this is the attachment, the grasping, the holding. It's enough to understand what you're meditating on. Don't need to analyze. And on the right, you're aware of your enemies, as they are called in Buddhism, people that don't like me, people that have aversion towards me, to ignore me, or I ignore others. I don't like others, aversion towards others, get angry at them all the time, and so on. So this is an expression of the resistance, not wanting to live with them, to meet them, to be liberated from them. It's enough to understand, maybe to feel, to be aware. It's all arising in me. And then behind me, there are countless and countless beings of this universe, this world. I don't know, don't understand what they're going through. So there is a kind of indifference. A lack of compassion and understanding. So this is my ordinary self, me, I, as I've trained myself to be like that. And now I take, so let's be aware of that. This is all created by me. So now we take refuge in the inner Buddha nature, which is free from attachment and aversion. The mind is abiding in equanimity, open and loving and kind. And I want to manifest this quality, so I visualize my loved ones and my enemies in front of me. So we have two groups, the so-called created loved ones, with all respect, and the created enemies in front of me. And now I take refuge Not in those two groups, but I take refuge to the inner qualities of equanimity. I take refuge in wisdom. I take refuge in understanding my ignorance. And I take refuge in kindness, unlimited kindness. I take refuge in wisdom. I take refuge in compassion. I take refuge in power, which are the manifestations of the Buddha nature. So try to imagine or feel this process. And your ordinary body becomes like the beginning of Buddha, a Buddha body. In harmony, non-duality, hands resting on each other, pure energy of sitting straight, the smiling face and smiling eyes of kindness. And the body is a body of light, transparent, but very vivid, because it is alive, it is living, it's vibrating of qualities and pure energy. The me, myself, I has dissolved. This is an enlightened body. So try to feel, try to be aware. That's enough. Transform. And now, from body, speech, and mind, you radiate to these two groups, and you can't see any difference. With your wisdom eye, you can't see that there is an enemy, and you can't see that this is my loved one. This in the Buddha nature is not possible, this discrimination. So try. There are beings that want to be happy, that want to suffer, and so on. They all have their troubles. So being aware of it is a kind of Tonglen understanding the suffering of others and the striving for happiness. So in this way, you speak or you wish, may you all be happy. May you all be free from suffering in whatever way. You can create your own examples of their happiness. Or otherwise in general, may all of you be happy. And try it with intensity if they're all your loved ones. From the Buddha point of view. May you all be happy, free from suffering in whatever way. May you be happy in the way you like. May you live in joy. May you live in equanimity towards each others. And this is very powerful radiation from your body, speech, and mind in the ultimate state. And this also radiates to the beings on the back behind you. Limitless and countless. And be aware that around all of us is this circle of Buddhas, like in the beginning. And they also radiate to all beings in this circle. And all beings become Buddhas and Bodhis, explore their Buddha and Bodhisattva qualities. Myself included. So abide for a few moments in this vibrant, pure universe. It's inside of all of us. Our true nature. Uh, okay, thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed the meeting. That there is something beautiful, no doubt, for our lives, the days to come, the lives to come.